Good morning, folks. Ace here. Warning, be advised that some of this footage is very disturbing. Um, it just goes to show you how advanced these beings are, and their capabilities are off the chart. And if you're ever alone in the woods, just know this: you're there at their mercy, and you're there because they allow it. Okay, here we go. In this first image you're going to see here, here's the adult. Right. Uh, you can see right here, this might be a juvenile even. I'm not real sure. I'll have to go back to the footage and look. But you can see his eye right here. If it's a juvenile, it's a large juvenile. All right, you can see his pupil right there. There's his nose. But what's intriguing is how he's mocking me. See, here's his lips. He is sticking his tongue out at me, making a noise, blowing his tongue at me. And then, yeah, this is an adult. Because the reason why I say that is because here is a little juvenile right here on his head, tiny little booger. And then here's another Sasquatch behind him. There's the eyebrow ridge. There's the eyes. I can't tell if it's on its back or if it's an adult just standing up behind him. One of the two. Look how well they blend in, man. It's just it's just amazing. It is. It's phenomenal. Now my markups could be different, could be wrong, but know for sure that's Sasquatch there. Okay, moving on. All right, in this image, this is in the real thick vegetation, right? There's a couple Sasquatches in the footage up back behind the vegetation. But you look right here, right? This Sasquatch right here is using his finger right here to pull the vegetation down to where he can see me. Watch this. Let me go back to the footage. And then there's another Sasquatch right there. Alright. This Sasquatch here, same thing. He's behind the vegetation, right? He is actually, let me go back to edit here. There's a tree limb right back here, right? And he is straddling it with his body. And he's using his left arm to grip the tree limb, and he's using his right arm to grip the other side. But every once in a while, he'll pull his right arm down, and he will pull down on this leaf to uh, to move things out of his eyes so he can see me. So we're going to see that real close here in a minute. And up here's another Sasquatch up here. But the main one we're going to focus on is this one right here for a minute. Okay, you can see between this shot and that other image, his face has changed positions, right? See that? His eye is opened way up. He was squinting. Okay. This video here is like a 30-second long video. It shows me moving his face around a little bit. We'll get to see. And look at this one. I'll show you that one in a minute. But the main one is this one right here. Here's the one of the adults up here above him. Right there is one of the adults. He's kind of phased out. Their fur is real fuzzy. Uh, but watch his face right here as it moves. Okay, you see him kind of blink there. Just a moment. Bear with me here. We'll get a good spot here in just a minute where it shows everything. Okay, right there. Did you see him pull down on the leaves there? See? Look at that. Wow. Let me back that up just a hair. Right there. Look at that. See that? Top left corner. See him moving it? He's moving that vegetation. He's pushing down with his snout on it. He's using his snout to push the vegetation down. Check that out. Trying to keep cover and concealment. Okay, I'll just let it play there for a second. Just about wrapped up with this. Okay, right here. If you look down here at the bottom, see this big eye right here? That's an adult with a baby sitting on its head, which you'll see it here in a minute. They just hide so well. They get in that damn vegetation. They start camouflaging up. They dye their hair and all kind of stuff. And man, they're just, I'm really amazed at their capability when it comes to, uh, operating in the woods. They're unbelievable at it. Okay, let's look here. Even their babies, they learn at such young ages. Well, sorry about that. Just a minute. Okay, look at the definition of that little baby there on top of the adult's head. Look at it looking back at me. A little female. Look at that. She must be these must be the little hobbit like size Darrows because she looks pregnant. Look at that. I don't know if that's her belly or what, but look at that. Look at this little thing. Unless I'm seeing that wrong. No, that's got to be another Sasquatch's head right there, ain't it? It sure is. That's the cone of another Sasquatch. You can see its eyes right there. But yeah, look at this guy. Look at that little Sasquatch there. I'm going to go ahead and sharpen this up a hair. Okay, there we go. Yeah, you can see the Sasquatch there now. He's got a little patch of hair on the top of his head there. Look at that. He's bald everywhere else. It looks like on his head, I mean. And then you got this little female right here turning back looking at me. Look at that. And she's sitting on her parent's head. Look at the eye right here of the parent watching me. Okay, let me go to edit markup. Just a second here. Okay, so we got his eye right here. Look how large his pupil is right there. There's his nose. His mouth probably is right here somewhere. But you can see his hair is bald, which kind of looked like a tummy there for at a second. And he's got hair right here, it looks like. Okay. Uh, like that. And then you got this cute little baby Sasquatch right here on the head of the parent. Look at that. Here's her eyes, right? You can see her large pupil there. See the nose, the mouth. And she's turning around looking back at me. And this is all just hair. And then you got the adult. Here's the eyebrow ridge. Right there, barely peeking up out of vegetation. There's the nose. High eyebrow ridge, and the eyes are tucked in underneath that eyebrow ridge there. Something like that. Let me take these markups off so you can get a better look now. That little bit of sharpness helped out quite a bit. And you can see that little baby's hand right here. You can see how it's coming across she's laying on top of her parent's head. And look at her little hand right here. Look at her little thumb. Their hand goes like that. That's the little arm on the Sasquatch. That little baby can't be but maybe a year or two old at the most. Uh, Not very old at all. Tiny little guy or gal. I'm not sure what it is, female or male. Kind of. I just automatically assumed it was female because I wasn't sure what was going on right here. But that's another Sasquatch right there. Check that out, though. It's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing stuff, folks. Wow. Pretty amazed by that. Let's see here. Let me see something. I don't know. I might have got that. I might have got that wrong. Let me see here. This could have been another Sasquatch laying on its back right here, and here's its eye. There's its eye, and you just can't hardly see its little nose. And it's laying backwards. And there's its arm pushing up right here or something. I don't know. Like I said before, my markups aren't always 100% right, but there's definitely quite a bit of Sasquatch activity in this footage. So I'm going to move on, not spend a whole lot of time on that. So here we go. So right here, that guy's got his nocturnal shade lenses across his eye, and his are the olive, or not the olive color, but the off white color shade lenses on his eyes. Let me see here. Now here's the another adult back here. He's got a couple juveniles on his head. Um, but you can see his eyes there, just peeking up over the vegetation. Check him out. Um, it's kind of blurry. Somehow they have a distorting capability. Somehow I don't know how they do it. Whether it's uh, you know, releasing something in the air, or I just don't know. It's just speculation at this point. But some reason, somehow, in some way, they have a way of disturbing camera footage. It's a known fact. But I do know my footage has gotten better since I bought this more expensive camera. But uh, at times it's still below par, especially on its capability. So I'm gonna go to markup here. Let's go to edit first, and let me add a little bit of definition and sharpness to this, and go to markup. Okay, shoot, just a second. Okay, it looks like here's an eye, here's another eye, there's the nostrils, and then there's the mouth. You can see the white fang teeth right there. Um, and then it looks like there's another one right here. There's just a couple in there. They all they distort so bad that it's really a guess to exactly what they look like. But there's enough evidence there to know that that's Sasquatch. It, there just is. But the footage just ain't worth the shit, you know. In this footage, we have another Sasquatch there. It looks like it's got its feet up on the vegetation or its hand, one of the two. Looks more like a foot there. I can't really tell, but um, let's move on to some more footage here. Might get stuck on that. Right, here we go. Okay, in this footage, um, we got here's the here's the eyes, right? There's the nose. This is the beard. Mouth down there's the beard like that. There's his conical head. He's just well hidden in that vegetation. These guys have a real pigment. I can't think of the word, but anyways, their skin is like a real red pigmentation color. So you're going to definitely see a lot of prominent red in their skin texture, and it's pretty crazy, actually. But here we go. I'm going to zoom in, let you see. So you can see his eyeball there a little bit, just barely peeking under the vegetation. Look at this guy up here. He's looking to his left, his head is. You can see his eye right there, just barely coming over the vegetation there. See his eye? There's his other eye, and he's got a baby. He's got a little juvenile. Let me see here. So here's the adult. There's his eye. His other eye's down here. But then this right here is the little juvenile sitting on top of him. And the juvenile's face is red, and there's its eyes, which you're going to see more footage of this here in just a moment. Uh, we're going to dive in deep to this with this footage, and so you can see real well what's going on here. Also, um, there's some footage right here that's a little bit harder to see because they're blended in so well. But there's another Sasquatch right here, like that. Here's one right here, a little, their eyes right there. Uh, and there's a couple more. See, some of these Sasquatches have a chameleon capability, and I believe that they have to be, not all of them, but most of them have to be touching an item to mimic the camouflage, like a chameleon reptilian type entity, you know. Um, let me see here. Oh, Sasquatch down here in the corner. It's kind of blurred out though. There's a Sasquatch right there. I could probably clean that up quite a bit. There's another one right there. Okay, this is pretty good footage here, so I'll go to markup. So right here we have there's an eyeball. He's partially using this vegetation here to break up its face. And its other eye looks like it might have just shut or it's just barely open right here, right? Then here's your nose. And then you can see the hair around his chin line, right? Um, and then his eyes are up here somewhere, like that. There's a conical head. And then it looks like here's another Sasquatch up here. You see his eyes there. A couple different ones in there. Um, Once again, my markups might not always be 100% correct because my vision is not the greatest, but there's definitely some Sasquatch activity in there. Let me see here. Okay, let's hit back to the next footage here. Eyes are starting to show up a little better there. The definition of the face there is showing up a little bit better. Okay. Just about done. Bear with me, folks. So there's a Sasquatch right there, just well hidden, covering concealment. And then you see this little baby right here, this little juvenile, just barely showing his eyes there. Same goes for this little guy. Look at this. He's got red in his hair, or uh he's wearing some kind of vegetation to help with his cover and concealment, but definitely a Sasquatch there. One of their smaller size Sasquatches that they have. But let me see here. Let me go to which you can see his eyes right there. And there's his other eye. And there's his nose and his mouth, right? Like a trapezoid uh, style face structure with jaw structure. Very skinny face. This type of Sasquatch has. But look at his hair there, real prominent, red. Um, Now, that's one way of looking at it. But after looking at it here again, there might be another way of looking at it, which is right here is a red red eyes with their nocturnal shades on it, and then there's the nose. Then that's the beard. That could be what it is. It's just pareidolia one way, but accurate another. Or it could be this is accurate, and this right here could just be a juvenile in front of the adult. So they both could be accurate. It could be two Sasquatches there, which is what I'm more inclined to see happening there. I think there's two Sasquatches there. And then here's another one right here. Check this out. He's got one eye here and there, and then there's his nose, and there's his mouth, and he's got hair down through there. And I think this hair here is a juvenile looking to its right, a little tiny juvenile, right? But then you got this foot right here. It's right here's a foot that's up above them, up on that tree limb. There's another Sasquatch up above them, and we're just seeing the foot there. Look at the hair on that foot. It's definitely a foot coming from up above him. Quite amazing. And then there's other Sasquatch in the footage. We'll get to that later. Let's see here. All right, let's move on here. I'm about ready to wrap this up here in just a minute. Let's see if I can find some more footage here. That's that one Sasquatch there in the middle I showed you. Look at his eye right there. His eye. He was the large adult that's under the vegetation. There's his conical head, right? There's his chin. Here's his lips right here. There's his eyes. Nose is right there. Big Sasquatch. He's a big guy. Here's one laying sideways, it looks like. Yeah. Well, let's see here. Their face changed a little bit. Look at that eye right there. That might be a little juvenile's face there. Now that I look at it, can't quite tell. There's definitely a large adult there with him, though. There's his mouth that's partially open. There's his one eye. Look how big his eye is there, staring at me. There's his second eye. It's right there, down in the bush, looking up at me. Just amazing. Here's another one right here. There's just all kind of them down in this bush. There's a little tribe of them. They get into everything too. They're very curious little beings. If you put something out on the back porch, man, they're into it. As soon as they get a chance, they tear into it, see what it is. All right, folks, that's all I got. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Peace.